Hi YouTube, welcome to Chilling with Henny. Today we're going to be getting into our own chili. I will be giving you the spice blend and the things that I use to make my favorite version of chili. I hope you guys enjoy it. It's a very versatile dish. I love making a large batch of it and keeping it in the refrigerator, for my chili cheese fries, for quesadillas, for, Taco Bell style tacos. I love it in so many ways, and it's very convenient to have in the refrigerator during the week. Okay YouTube, so let's get into it. Here I have a 2.5 pound chuck roast. I'm going to be using 2 pounds of it for this recipe, which is approximately 910 grams. The rest of it, we will be saving it for other use. So let's get started. Like I always say, try to ground your own beef. It really makes a difference. A helpful tip, something I always do, try to sharpen your knife before you start. It makes the job a lot easier. Okay, let's get to grinding. Like I've told you in the past, the instructions say speed 4, so let's get to speed 4. Okay, let's get to it. Place the strips inside and let's get grinding. Okay, here we have some Pasilla ancho chilies. We're gonna go for about 50 grams of them, and that is 50 grams without the stems and without the seeds. Let's get to it. Okay, we got 53 grams out of it. Now, since we are prepared chefs, we already have water boiling. So now let's take these over and let's get them softer. Okay, so let's put them in the water, and we're just gonna leave them in there for a few minutes until they're pliable, and that's about it for this. While the chilies are softening, let's chop up some vegetables. We're gonna be having some tomatoes and some garlic. That's about it. And all the exact ingredients and amounts will be in the description, so you'll know how much I'm using for this. And we're gonna be using a good amount of garlic, so let's take our head and crack it open. Put some weight on it. This makes it a lot easier. I always recommend that when you're cooking, have your trash can open and close to you. It makes the job way easier instead of having to be opening or touching it at all while you're cooking. All right, moving forward, let's go. Put the garlic in. Best thing about using the garlic like that is you don't have to chop it up, and keeps you from having those garlic fingers. Put everything inside. There's a big debate whether this liquid has flavor or not. I would say it's more flavored than water, less flavored than any kind of stock, but we'll save it and use a little bit if need be, because the tomatoes are gonna release juice anyway, and we're also gonna add vinegar and let's see, Worcestershire sauce. For vinegar, we're going for about 15 milliliters, 15 grams. Okay. And for Worcestershire sauce, we're going for about 30 milliliters. And these are really 2 forms of vinegar, so that's 45 milliliters of vinegar in general total, in case you don't have one or the other. Let's start doing a little pulsing as it is right now before we start adding liquid to help it out. Okay, let's take a look. I love this. I really love using this chili for my chili because it has such a deep smoky taste, and it just adds some depth. I love it. It makes a huge difference in my opinion. We're gonna be adding 1 tablespoon of coriander now, which is another very, very fragrant spice. This is a measurement is half a teaspoon, so we're gonna do 2 for the full tablespoon. And same deal with cardamom. So they're both very earthy and extremely fragrant. I think they go together so well. If you don't have either one of these, you can definitely substitute it for some cumin. And this is onion powder. This one is 2 tablespoons. So with our half teaspoon, we're gonna go 4 of these. And we already have fresh garlic in here, so we're not gonna add garlic powder. That's why we're only adding onion powder. Now let's give it another pulse. This is where it's very, we're adding a lot of dry ingredients, so we'll start adding liquid as we need. Delicious already. Go. Actually, let's grab ourselves a little spatula or some scrapey tool that we can use here. Scrapey tool of your choice. My suggestion, always go in with a smell test. Smell test says so much. And man, it smells delicious. Alrighty, we're all set. Looks beautiful. There we go. This will be our base flavor. We're gonna use this for our chili. Okay, and I'll get your favorite pot out for chili. This one is my favorite for making chili. It's a nice deep one that I can use, and it's large, and the large surface area helps me get a very, very good caramelization on the meat. Very important next step is that we need to make sure that the pan is ripping hot. Once we put in this cold meat, the temperature will go down. So we have to make sure that it's hot enough to be able to withstand the cold meat, and we only get one chance to sear the meat. By the time that we start moving the meat around, it's gonna release so much juice that if you didn't get a sear on the bottom, then your whole meat will be great. And I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of avocado oil. Oh, you see that? That's what we're looking for. Let's turn on the exhaust. Smoking hot. Make sure it stays that way. Alrighty, let's go for it. Spread it out as much as you can, quickly. If this was hot enough, you're already gonna start smelling it. And that's it. Don't move it, don't touch it. Wait a good while till it gets a very, very good sear. Keep in mind, this is your only chance to get a sear. As soon as the juices start releasing, we're gonna start getting a steam. And at that point, no caramelization will occur. So let it hang out there for a while. Okay, our next step will be to add some salt. We're gonna salt little by little because we haven't added any, but let's start developing some flavors. And when I say a little, I mean 2 big pinches and a splash for luck. Next, we're gonna add our paste. This is gonna be all the flavor we'll need. Give us flavor, give us that beautiful color. Oh, and let's stir it in. This has raw garlic in it, so as soon as the garlic starts hitting that heat, oh, the fragrance over here, it's amazing. And as far as beans or no beans, that is entirely up to you. I am making this with no beans, but sometimes during the week when I'm eating this, I'll just add beans to it as I'm reheating my portion. But I'll be using this throughout the week, so I keep it right now just as is with no beans. And we're gonna be adding some liquid right now. I'm actually gonna be adding chicken stock. Why no beef stock? Because I ran out of beef stock, so I had to make do with the chicken stock. But before I do that, I'm gonna let this cook because I had, as you remember, the raw tomato and the raw garlic. So I wanna let that get cooked before I add any liquids to it. As a tip, while you're cooking and the smell gets you super hungry, I suggest munching on like apples, peaches. Actually, those are my 2 favorite because, you know, they're pretty filling. But I think we've gotten it where the liquid is pretty dry now, and now we're gonna be adding this one. This is the one that I love to use. I get in chicken and in beef, and it's 10 calories per serving, and to me that's so amazing. And for this recipe, we will be using all 6 cups, just the whole bottle. And we're gonna let it reduce all the way. Pretty much still gets thick again. This is definitely not a dish that's gonna be done in 30 minutes. And honestly, the longer you can let it cook, the better. And furthermore, this is one of those dishes that tastes better every single day. And this big pot, I don't think I've ever had it go past like day 4. And I have my heat cranked to the max. So as soon as I get a nice boil, then I'm gonna turn it to the lowest possible setting and, you know, let it cook as long as you can. But this is definitely not one of those dishes that you're gonna be eating very quickly in an hour or 2. I'm making this around lunchtime so I can have it for dinner. Now that we have a nice boil going, let's give it one quick stir. And I'm gonna cook it for about a whole hour with the lid on. With the lid on, it's gonna create steam and it'll reduce very little. But what I want is just the flavors to come out. And then for the second hour, I'm gonna cook it with the lid off. And both of these hours will be at a very low temperature. See you guys in an hour. Okay, so we're about 45 minutes in. Time to take the lid off. It has reduced some, and now we're gonna raise the heat just a little bit, and we're gonna finish this off with the lid off. As you can see, the meat is pretty close to the surface, so we actually probably don't need that much time. But definitely watch it, maybe another 20 to 30 minutes. And as it continues to reduce, it's gonna get thicker. So don't worry, right now it looks kind of soupy, but as it continues to reduce, it'll get thicker on us. Alrighty, and we're all done. At this point, the heat is off. Look at that. Much thicker than when it began. When we began, it looked like a soup. That's it. There's our chili. Now put it in a bowl, serve it up, and let's get to eating. I've definitely been waiting long enough. Alrighty, I'll see you guys at the table. Alrighty, last finishing touches. So we're gonna add a little green onion and some fat-free cheese. Definitely careful with your fingers. This is me cutting at the I am so hungry pace. Alright, there we go. A little bit of those. Grab our spoon, mix it in. Going for 1 ounce, 28 grams. 29 it is. Alrighty, then we're all set to eat. Hey, how's it going, guys? Thanks for chilling with Henny. So today we've made chili, and in case you're wondering what's with the different setup, so we have construction going in on the house, and I could find no angle where there was no construction equipment in the dining table. So here we are, but let's give the food a taste. All right, here we go. So chili, I love this stuff. It's amazing. Been waiting for a while. Give it a mix. And the only thing I added to it was the fat-free cheese and a few green onions. Okay, let's give it a try. Man, I was so hungry too. This thing's been going on for like a good 2 hours. This is the kind of food that normally, if I'm out in public, I'm not talking to anyone. I'm eating till I'm done. Super delicious, super rich. I love the ancho chiles in this. It gives it a smokiness, even a little bit of a sweetness, such depth. This is one of my favorite dishes to have in the refrigerator. Like I said, put it in my breakfast burritos, quesadillas, put it in my egg scrambles. I put it with potatoes, inside baked potatoes. It's so versatile. Having these things in the fridge is amazing throughout your week. Like I've said in the past, I'm not much of a meal prep guy. Like I won't sit down on Sunday and make 5, 6, 7 different meals, but I'll make proteins that I can use throughout the weeks in different ways, and that's one of my favorite things to do. If anyone was wondering, like, Henny, is this little bowl gonna actually fill you up, bro? It's not. This is not. Like I said, this is something that I like to use for other uses, and here we go. I told you we used 2 pounds, and I had some meat left over, enough for 2 burgers, 1 for me, 1 for someone else, but I had to make a chili cheeseburger. How could I not? Look at this, look at this, look at this. Okay, so let's give it a try. Always so convenient to have your own ground meat like that. Delicious. This is one of my favorite uses for chili. I'm gonna finish eating this. Don't forget, don't drink your calories. Thank you for chilling with Henny. I appreciate you guys. Let me know if there's anything else you guys want me to try, anything you want me to cook. Thanks for hanging out, and until next time. Oh, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and yeah, let me know if you guys want anything.